Welcome back to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. Our mission is to share what we have learned from our experience and the experience of others to help you make more money investing like a pro. We want to teach you how to create wealth by investing in real estate the Discount Property Investor way. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. I am your host, David Dodge, coming to you today with a good buddy of mine, Billy Alvaro. Billy's up in the New York area, and he's in one of my masterminds. I love connecting with this fucking guy. He is such a good guy, so fun to talk to, has the best attitude. Gratitude is the attitude. I love it. This is my man. I love this guy. So I'm so happy that he's here. I'm grateful for your time, Billy. And I just wanted to bring you on today and talk a little bit about the current state of the real estate market, right? You're up in New York. You guys are getting hit hard with COVID. Everything's shutting down. Craziness.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, but I know that you have been through hard times in the past. And I'm confident that you are going to, be just fine with what's going on. But again, thanks for coming on the show. How the hell are you, bro?
Bro, your energy, I feel it.
That's
feel
right,
that
baby.
shit, bro. Yeah, I'm doing good. I appreciate you having me on, dude. It is always good to reconnect with you, man. I mean, we are in one of the same masterminds together. We have a great time. We get together once a year. It is, what do we have now? Like 40 guys in that mastermind?
Yeah, I think 40.
About 40,
I
right?
think they're trying to cap it at like around 50 or 55. And
Yeah.
I love that it's smaller,
Yeah,
so I think right now
it's
we're
more
probably
intimate.
around 40. And that's the multipliers, guys. If anyone's curious on the masterminds that I'm in, I'm in the multipliers mastermind. Great mastermind. I'm also part of the Inner Circle Elite. These are two of the three masterminds I'm in. I'm in a third one too. It's local to St. Louis. And Billy, I know that you are in masterminds as well. It's a great way to connect with people and share ideas and, being able to talk to other people that are in the same space as you.
Listen, like-minded
guys. I recommend it masterminds.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. Being together with high intensity, high volume, like-minded individuals. The multipliers is one. I mean, Collective Genius, another one. And like two really sick, ridiculous groups of guys. And each one serves its purpose. But the one thing in common is the people that are in both these groups, like in yours, they're just super high achievers and they're givers. And that's the big thing with a lot of these masterminds we belong to is the guys and girls that are in them, they're givers. They're not fucking takers. They look to give. And if everybody's giving, that means everybody's fucking receiving. That means everybody's taking, everybody's giving. It's like,
yep.
Yeah.
But it's so great to have a bunch of people, that are all about giving, because
it is, dude.
It's like, like I hop on calls with different people in the masterminds all the time and I'm helpful. I'm happy to be helpful to help them in their space. But then when I might need help later, it's like, boom, they're there for you. So
absolutely, dude.
Awesome.
It's important. It's important. That's how you got to where you're at. Of course you're an implementer, but you're fucking with guys and girls that are doing it at a high level, and you take what you're learning and then you fucking implement like an animal.
That's right.
And that's what separates. That's what separates, bro, right there.
That's right. So, hey, let's jump in, Billy. What's going on with the freaking COVID issue up in New York? I mean, everyone's been seeing the news. We don't have that many podcasts scheduled. So this will launch in a week. Today's June 12th. We'll probably have this launched on the 20th. Not that much is going to change, guys, between the 12th and the 20th of June. However, I don't even know. I lost track of weeks. I mean, are we on like week 10, 11, maybe even 12 of COVID?
New York is more like almost going on 16. I mean, it's like
Holy
15.
Cow. So I'm in St. Louis, Billy. We're like a whole month behind you guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And we shut down. They shut this fucking city down.
When did you get shut down? When that happened?
I mean, so I think I'm counting roughly. I think this is week 11. If I'm right, if not, it's 10. It's 10 or 11.
So sometime in April.
And they're gonna start opening shit back up on the 16th again. Today's the 12th, so next week basically. And who knows what's gonna happen? But what's really affected me, and I know I'm here to interview you, so I want you to do the talking here, right? But what's affected me is the most part was just getting my permits for my rehab project.
Yeah, dude.
They shut this shit down and it delayed, 4, 5, maybe 6 weeks on some of our permits. Other than that, we haven't really noticed all that much of a slowdown on the on the retail side, on the listed properties, those are still flying.
They're moving.
And we've
Are they
slowed down on
allowing
the buying a little bit, right? So
Are they allowing people into the houses? Are they allowing realtors into the houses to sell these properties? See, New York, New York, we got shut down.
Dude.
Like a complete hammer. No realtors in the houses. No contractors working on the properties. Towns completely shut down. Couldn't pull title. Couldn't get C of O's.
Wow, so like we didn't have, like, title companies were still operating, but it was mobile closings or closings in the parking lot.
Yep,
right?
Yep. We did that.
We had all the stay-at-home orders, but they didn't shut down that much, right? But the permits slowed us down. The agents were good. Houses are selling, which is crazy because I guess banks are pretty lenient right now, considering that most people are, not most, but a lot of people are unemployed or not getting paid. But loans are still going through, which is good, right?
We found we had the opposite experience for about a good solid 6 weeks.
No shit.
We had a pipeline of deals that were like clear to close at the table, and the lender calls for a VOE, guys laid off, they yanked the wire. It happened on 3 of our properties, like, hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash flow, like, gone.
Right.
Right. Thank God we were positioned, like, we didn't know it was going to be this type of pandemic, but going through what I went through in 2007 and 8, we were positioning for a market shift.
So Bill, I know you've told me this before and you probably hate repeating it, but for like just 2 or 3 minutes, tell us what happened in 2008 to you, because I think it's going to be really valuable later here to describe what are some of the things that you've been doing to help.
Yeah, absolutely. So back in 2006, 7, 8, when this whole thing happened, I had a huge mortgage company. We had 950 employees. We were doing over $40 million a year in revenue. We were doing $1 billion in loan volume, and was taking the company public, doing a reverse merger. And bottom line, the whole fucking bottom fell out. And I went from, making X to losing Y, and then to being $14 million in debt, like, overnight. And the experiences and the lessons that I've learned, invaluable. Like, it was a Harvard education that I gained. And, people look at me like, God, that must have hurt. It must have sucked. Yeah, but it got me to where I am today. And I'm so much fucking smarter now than I was back then. And so when this pandemic hit, I didn't do what I did, 11, 12, 13, 14 years ago. Like, I acted fast with precision. I immediately took action. I knew exactly, without knowing, I knew what to do. I went on autopilot. And it was just chop the fucking overhead, make sure you fucking keep cash clean, get rid of what you can get rid of, and stack the piles of cash.
Right.
And we did just that, dude. Like, overnight, it took us about 4 days. I cut back over $70,000 a month in overhead.
Holy
like this.
Shit.
Yeah, bro.
$70,000 a month in overhead. Woo.
Crazy. Now, it's not all permanent.
Right.
Cut back. It's not all permanent. It's some of it's temporary. Some of it was a renegotiation with lenders. Some of it was pausing marketing. Like, there was a combination of things we did. But when it all settles, here we are, June 12th, we're going to be opening back up like the 15th in New York. And we're still I'm not going to have all that overhead come back. I'm still going to have about $35,000, $40,000 a month as a savings, which is $500,000 fucking dollars a year to the bottom line. So, I looked at this whole pandemic, at as shitty as it was, people losing their lives, companies going out of business. To me, it was a gift, because I realized I could fucking run this business virtually. Like, I have 2 offices. I don't need offices. I don't need space. Everybody's been working from their fucking laptop at home. They have work balance life.
3 months.
For 3 months, bro. Yo, work balance life. Kids, family, wives, husbands, they're like working. They're with the family. They're enjoying themselves. And the thing with me, I'm looking, productivity is still there. Like, my guys aren't dicking around. They're fucking working harder. It'd be one thing
if they're doing half as much, right? But they're doing the same. Why have all this extra expense of having an office, and then I got to insure it, then I got to heat and cool that son of a bitch, then I got to do this and have phone lines and all this extra shit and furniture and everyone's got a laptop and a cell phone. Why not use those things, right?
Bro, negotiated. I negotiated with the landlord. We got out. I had 5 years left in the lease, and we negotiated 5 months. We're out the door. So June 30th, like, I'm officially physically closed. And so for the last 6 weeks, I've just been strategizing on really how to run a virtual company. Bills and payments and deposits, and I figured it out. Like, I'll probably put together a fucking course on how to run a real virtual business virtually.
I would love that. That'd be awesome.
Bro, I got this shit figured out, dude.
Yeah.
And it is like bottom line driven. It's efficiency driven. It's workflow driven, and it's sales driven. Like, my guys are fucking selling. They're closing over the phone. They realized they used to have a fear of just closing over the phone. Now they had no choice for the last 90 days but to close over the phone. They're doing it. So,
isn't that amazing how that works like that? Like, sometimes you get put into a corner and,
that's exactly it.
Quickly, and it's a good thing, though. So
Yeah.
well, dude,
Yeah.
70 grand a month. I mean, that's huge. I know that's not all permanent, but temporarily that's massive.
Yeah.
So they shut down everything up there. Unlike in St. Louis, they shut down, most of basically the retail was all shut down, restaurants and retail. But we could still get out and look at projects. There wasn't any issues with us like leaving our houses necessarily.
No, we had
I think it might have been different up there, right? I mean, you guys were like on lockdown.
It was on lockdown. It was like Marshall fucking State, dude. Like it was lockdown. It was nobody leaving their house except you had to go get food. You had to wear a mask and gloves. There was nothing to do with construction. All the construction got shut down. At realtors, if they got found going into somebody's house and showing a property, they were getting fined.
No way.
Threatened with jail. Like it was crazy. Dude, it was nuts. It was nuts, man. So we had it was 8 weeks of just a tough time. Because I'm like, we have deals at the closing table with $400,000 coming in to pay this property off, and the lender pulls the wire because they do a last-minute VOE, verification of employment. The guy's laid off, like can't close. One after the other So it was trying, dude. But look, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah. What happened with those particular deals? Did you relist them?
Yeah, no, we actually, we made it happen. He got a fucking another job, and he did his thing, and he was a union, and he got a paycheck. And so look, it just was a temporary setback.
That's all we do though, is solve problems, right? So it's like,
that's why we get paid the big money, bro.
These problems come, it's like, all right, no big deal, just another hurdle. Let's figure it out. And that's what you guys do. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Very cool. So what are you guys focused on at this point? Obviously virtual, cutting costs. You guys have an awesome business up there, and you're doing a lot of stuff, right? You guys are doing flips, rehabs, rentals, wholesaling.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards, right? Across the board, yeah. Across the board. So what we're doing now is we've changed the model on the rehab side, where we used to do rehabs, $150,000, $200,000 rehabs, like big ass fucking rehabs. Since the pandemic, well, actually about 3 months before the pandemic, we're like, you know what? We see the market starting to shift a little, so we're just doing smaller rehabs, $40,000 to $75,000 renovations. I'm not adding second stories. I'm not blowing out the interior of the house. If it's a full fucking gut, I'm wholesaling it. Sure. And I got to tell you, the buyers, I call them the HGTV buyers, they're not that smart. Because they're still buying. They're still buying, and I don't ever give them what I think the value of the property is. I don't give my opinion. I leave it up to the buyers to figure it out for themselves, because I never want to be put in a position where they said, you told me it was going to sell for X. So like we're flipping deals, dude. Wholesale was still making 40, 50. We flipped one yesterday, 95G wholesale. And I'm like, I wouldn't go near this property for the amount that I'm buying it for. It's like a tight deal. And this fucking guy is coming in 95 over the top. So look, it is what it is. They buy how they buy. If they lose, if they gain, whatever their model is their model. I don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah, I don't either, right?
I just put the properties out, and if they buy, they buy.
So are you guys doing more and more wholesaling now?
Yeah, we're probably doing about 70% wholesale. And so what I'm doing now for the last 6 weeks, and I've been heavy on the capital raise side. So I'm going back to when I had the mortgage bank. I'm going out doing a massive capital raise. I'm putting money to work. A lot of people out there want to get involved in this real estate shit, but they just don't know how to do it. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck it. Put your money with me. Here's my record for the last 15 years. Like, put the money with us. We'll put it to work for you. So big time buy and hold over the next 24 months. On the single family side, we're going to go balls to the wall. Simultaneously, as that's moving, the apartment piece, we have a 36 unit. It's almost like a drug rehabilitation center that we're opening up. Once we get licensed with Oasis on that one, that's a $15,000 a month per bed per month times 30.
Wow.
It's a business though, so it's only a 20% net, but still that one building is like $1 million a year net cash flow coming in. So big fucking deals, dude.
Love it.
Big deals, yeah.
You guys are crushing it. It's awesome.
Yeah, listen, we're having fun. We're having a good time. I just moved out to New Jersey full time. I'm going to open up this market here. So New York is running, New Jersey's going to get up and running, and this isn't work, dude. Like we get paid to do this. Come on. I mean, this is awesome, fucking, it's the best, man. There's nothing like it. It's nothing.
So let me ask you this, Billy. I did a podcast yesterday or the day before. I can't remember who it was with, but we were talking on that show about the fact that a lot of people get into real estate because they want freedom. And then they get the exact opposite of that, right? They go from working a 40-hour a week to an 80-hour a week because they want that freedom. And one of the ways that we found, or that we were talking about on that show was, how do you get into real estate and have the freedom? Well, one of the ways is to invest with guys like Billy here, right? Put your money to work, let his experience and his knowledge and his efforts invest that money wisely with little to no risk, right?
Correct.
And get paid that way. Another approach would be to just get into business and start doing it yourself. But again, people get in and they go from 40-hour weeks to 80-hour weeks, and they have the exact opposite of
They
what
don't
they're
realize.
looking to get into for. So one of the solutions that, that I've found, and that we were talking about is, getting virtual assistants and getting people virtual. And it sounds like you guys are making that shift right now. I'm just curious, are all of the people that you work with local, even though they're virtual at this point,
No.
or are they virtual overseas?
Yeah,
virtual?
we have Philippines, we have New York, we have New Jersey, we have Ohio, like we have across the nation.
Cool.
And
That's
so
very
when this pandemic hit, what we realized is that if we're going to really be virtual, we could hire an inside person that would normally be here anywhere in the States. And, the VAs and stuff, we've always been utilizing VAs for the last 10 years. But we have 2 full-time VAs out in the Philippines. We have another 2 in the Philippines that do marketing, like a few hours a week here and there. We got a lady out in Ohio. We have people all over Long Island. We have people out here in New Jersey. So it's like, this job pool with 30 million plus people being out of work, and with us now being 100% virtual, the job pool is wide open. We're getting some quality fucking candidates coming in for positions, every single position that we have, from sales to acquisitions, like everything, dude, across the board. Yep. But, getting back to your point about the freedom piece, a lot of guys and girls that get into this business, they don't realize it could be a fucking job if you don't systematize and automate what you're doing.
That's the thing.
And when I had the mortgage company, bro, I fell into that trap. I was doing 14, 16, 18-hour days, flying around the country, raising money, doing this, and I didn't have a life. I was working my fucking ass off, and I couldn't even enjoy the fruits of my labor because I was, 1, working my ass off, and 2, I was stressed the fuck out.
I know, right?
That's
the other thing. I didn't even mention that, the stress that comes with 80-hour weeks, or in some cases 100-hour weeks, right? So
and then being responsible for fucking employees, 200, 400, 900 employees. It's like, it's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, man. Dude. Yep. So you had mentioned earlier you had scaled back a little bit. We scaled back a little bit as well. Not so much with the retail. Our retail has been actually doing really good, but what we scaled back temporarily was our offers. We were just making a little bit lower offer to adjust for the, the uncertainty in the marketplace.
We've done
the same. What we were able to do is, less offers got accepted when the price went down, of course, but we were able to build a really big funnel over the last, call it 10 weeks, give or take, of people that, they're motivated to sell, but maybe not that motivated yet. Or a lot of them, Billy, a lot of them didn't have anywhere to go. They were uncertain about what they were going to do, if they were going to go rent or they're going to go rebuy something or what else. So we built a huge funnel, and literally this week we've started to hit that funnel really hard, and we've gotten tons of appointments and even a couple contracts from just hitting those people and following up with them because of the uncertainty on when we may have reached out to them 10 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago.
Let me ask you this, Dave. When you, over the last 10 weeks, did you curve back any of your marketing? Did you cut back at all?
I didn't, man.
You kept going?
We're not doing anything super crazy, Billy. We used to spend 10 to 14 grand a month on marketing. We're probably down closer to like 5 or 6 right now.
And what does that consist of? Direct mail, pay-per-click? Like, what is it?
We do, we do direct mail in waves. I haven't done it in a couple months. I need to do some, but typically most of our marketing is split 50-50 right now. Now it changes, of course, but right now and for the last maybe 5-6 months, it's been 50% radio. And Chris over at the Multipliers, Chris Arnold's the big radio guy. He's the one that actually coached and taught me about radio. So I do 50% on the radio. And then the other 50% is literally just pulling lists off of PropStream, adding them to Batch Lead Stacker, skip tracing them, cold texting them, and then pulling out the numbers after we skip trace them to add to a dialer. So we're hitting them with cold calls, cold texts. I don't do any RVMs because I don't really think it's very
ethical.
Thank you for that. We'll do some RVMs and follow up, but
that's different.
Not cold. It's different. Right. So basically cold call, cold text is half and radio is the other half. I'm lazy. You guys can't tell because I'm sitting, but I'm fucking lazy and fat, right? I'm working on the fat thing. But the lazy thing is probably not going to change, right? So the coolest part about the radio is you just pay it and you forget it.
Yeah. Radio
took a big dive over the last 8 weeks. And I was thinking about pulling it, but I'm happy I didn't because I'm only spending, maybe $3,000 or $4,000 a month on my radio. Call it $3,000 a month on my radio, which is nothing really.
Nothing.
And, we've gotten at least one deal over the last month from it. So it's at least paid for itself. But again, I built that follow-up funnel, right? So we're building up a ton of follow-up. And that's really it. You know, occasionally I'm looking at like 600 bandit signs right outside my office. We like to do waves of marketing. It's funny because I teach my students, hey guys, be consistent, be consistent. And I am consistent with my radio, my cold calling, and my cold texting. When it comes to bandit signs and mail, I do waves. I don't know why I've always been that way. I guess because I'm lazy and I'm not that good at being consistent. So I'll go buy 500-600 bandit signs and flood the town. Or I'll, you know, maybe do a 5,000-6,000 mail piece drop, hit the town hard, and then I'll wait. I like really more of the cold calling and cold texting. It's just so much cheaper, right? It's so much cheaper. I can build my own do not call list. One of the most, I don't know if you're doing any of this, Billy, but one of the most amazing things, and you would think I'm going to be working for Batch because I'm going to promote the hell out of them really quickly. But one of the most amazing fucking things with Batch is they don't charge you to skip trace a lead twice, ever.
Oh, that's good. That's real good,
address with the same
That's real
name,
good.
you're not paying. So as you start using this system, the match savings is growing like crazy. Like I just did one last week and I saved $300, right? Doesn't seem like a lot of money.
Yeah, multiply that by 52 weeks.
Yeah, well, that covers the monthly cost of the service off of one skip.
Yeah.
So as you start using this more and more, and you start using more of the skip tracing features that are you know, in the system, you start saving money because you're not skipping them twice. So if I'm only 3 months in essentially using this system and I'm already saving $300 per skip, you know, give me 3 more months and that's going to be double or triple. You know what I'm saying? So, and the cost to skip trace, if you're in one of the higher end packages, it's going to vary depending on what you buy, but it's only 12 cents.
Yeah, it's
right?
cheap.
So sending a postcard is 3 times that much.
Yep.
You know, so I can get 3 times as much bang for my buck by skip tracing, cold calling, cold texting.
How many people do you have texting for you?
Texting until we get them. And if they say quit calling, we quit calling. You know, we're not trying to.
How many people do you have texting for you?
Say that again.
How many people do you have texting for you? What does that look like?
So that's a great question. So I got 4 virtual assistants, 2 part-time, 2 full-time. The 2 part-time people, they're 20 hours a week. One of them is 20 hours a week on cold texting. The other one is 20 hours a week on cold calling. Boom. So those people, that's all they do. And I don't want them to do anything else because then they're going to get dragged down. I want them to do just that. So they log in at different times. I'm pretty flexible, but we use Hubstaff, which is great because it tracks productivity. It takes screenshots and it shows all the websites and apps they're using.
I love it.
So as long as they're not on my clock, you know, dicking around or watching porn, they can log in at any time they want, as long as it's not too early or too late. So I basically tell them about 8 or 8:30 in the morning, stop maybe around 7:30 at night, but they can log in anytime they want. Sometimes they'll come in and they'll do an 8 or 9 hour day and they won't work for 3 days. I don't give a shit. I basically tell them, hey, you can work 20 hours a week or up to, but when you are on the clock, I'm looking at what you're doing and I want you to only do this. So it was cold calling, cold texting. And then I have a full-time guy, been with me for about 5 years. He's an awesome guy. I pay him great money. He's also in the Philippines. He does all of my inbound calling or like answering of the phones, as well as 100% of the follow-up. And that's it. It's all he does.
No shit.
Myself and my 2 partners, we run all the appointments and make most of the offers. Obviously, the VAs will help with us. We have an acquisitions guy. We have a dispositions girl. So we have a team built out. You know, we're doing 8 to 10 wholesales a month, 65 rentals, and probably have anywhere from 6 to 10 flips going at any time.
I love it, man.
So we got a lot of shit in the pipeline. We're launching the coaching business, and that's been doing pretty well as well. Slow.
Congratulations, by the way, on your book, bro. Your second book.
Yes,
congrats.
thank you, man. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
The first one I got right here. It's the Ultimate Guide to Wholesaling. This one, Billy, is 270 pages, and we were like, man, this book's kind of thick. Maybe the next book will make it smaller. And that was the goal. The second book just came out. It's 383 pages. So
it's like Tony Robbins.
Fuck it. But it's you know, it's my entire business in these 2 books. And I tell people for $10 or $15, you can learn everything that I do. Everything.
I love it.
I
love it.
All the
you're a giver, bro. You're a giver. That's why you're getting what you get, because you give.
I try to be. So hey, this is about you though, not about me. Fuck. So I want to hear about your marketing. What are you guys doing? Have you scaled back any from COVID? Have you made any changes? I'm just kind of curious because, you know, you are in a different region and in a different market. So, you know, things are different in different places.
So we changed everything. I mean, when COVID hit, I looked at everything and I said, let me put a pause for 2 weeks just to feel what's about to happen. We were doing TV, radio, direct mail pieces, 120,000 mail pieces a month. We were doing text blasting, cold calling, door knocking. I mean, across the board, dude, we had it all hammered out. And when COVID hit, and we did the first 2 mail drops, and my response rate was like 0.0002.
Yeah, I know,
said,
man.
right,
There's almost so much uncertainty, you know?
Uncertainty. People just did not want to fucking do anything.
Even
and
if they're motivated to sell, it's like, maybe
where am I going to go? Where am I going to go?
Right. It's
Yep,
just,
yep.
it's just so much. The news doesn't fucking help either, man. Constant negative news in your face. Alert, breaking news, viruses. Now you got these protests, man. Fuck. It
Horrible,
doesn't
bro.
stop, you know? So, yeah.
World of shit. So we come back, and like you, I said, all right, what are we going to do? So we had a database over the last 10 years of just a shit ton of people that responded. So you just went old school database marketing. My guys in the office all started picking up the phone, cold calling, because we couldn't go to somebody's house. We couldn't do anything. And we went, listen, at the height, before the COVID hit, we were doing 12 to 18 properties a month. COVID hit, we're not doing any marketing, and we're still doing 6 to 8 properties a month.
Isn't that awesome?
So,
it's just lead.
sick.
It's lead mining.
Yeah, it's lead, bro. Lead mining, exactly.
Lead mining, yep.
So now we're going to slowly start to kick back the marketing in. I'm going to start July 1st, do the direct mail again. I'm probably going to dabble back on TV. TV is a hit and miss in New York. It's ultra expensive, and the leads we were getting were just not super quality. We got a few deals out of it, but I couldn't. It was just hard. I'm going to test the TV out here in New Jersey. The radio show, we have a radio show that airs every Saturday at from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock at night. So we record that on Mondays. That actually does decent for us. I'm going to now turn the radio show into not cashing out. I'm going to cancel that one. I'm going to do real estate investing on the radio, start training people how to do it, do what I do locally, and then do it as a broadcast on a podcast, and then turn it into a whole bunch of different trainings and shit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Yeah, I know you guys have a coaching business as well, too. That's great.
Yeah, it's this, bro. Look, like I dabbled, I did the coaching thing, and I enjoyed it. But what I didn't like is the one-on-one. Like I can't do one-on-one with newbies. I could do one-on-one with somebody who has an understanding, but to train one-on-one newbie, not for me. So I'm gonna change that whole model.
It's frustrating, man, because
it's hard, bro. Like I can't be asked what's an ARV,
right? But they got to walk through that door, and if you show them the door 5 different ways, and they still don't walk through it, it's like, man, I want to help you, but you're not helping yourself. Trust me, bro. I get it. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, you know, we've raised our coaching prices just to prevent that. You know, we used to do coaching for cheap, like $1,000, $1,500.
No way. No fucking
now
way,
we're at like minimum $4 or $5 grand minimum, and that's for group. You know, if they want one-on-one, it's $20K minimum, right? Because
it's
a lot of work, right? Totally. It's a ton of work.
Listen, I still even did. I was doing the $20, $30, $40, and $60,000 K for one-on-one. I hated it. And I hated it because the guys were good. The people that I had were great people. It's just, I had a job. Like, I don't want to fucking create a job for myself, you know? The group coaching thing, phenomenal. The online, you know, business in a box thing, phenomenal. I just got to build that whole thing out. And that's my next step. I'm going to build it out and push it out there and add some serious fucking value. And then once they're trained up, if they want to do the one-on-one, I'll have no problem because they're at a certain level.
Yeah, now they're past. They know the basics, man.
Yeah, man. Right, exactly. That's exactly it.
So you guys scaled back the marketing. You started lead mining the current leads that are in your system. You guys are still doing 6, 7, 8, 10 deals a month. That's freaking amazing.
We started doing heavy texting, heavy cold calling, so not costing us a lot.
Which is great. And that's the beautiful thing about those 2 lead sources, guys. I mean, it's literally like the cheapest. That's why I've converted to it. Guys, direct mail works. It'll always work, right? I'm not choosing to do it because it doesn't work. I'm choosing not to do it right now. This is temporary, right? I'm going to probably do it again, maybe later this week or early next. But I can get my leads for cheaper, right? And it just makes sense. So I think cold calling and cold texting is probably the best way for anybody to get started because it's the most cost effective.
Absolutely.
And Billy, I know you're going to agree with me on this. It's very easy to systematize and delegate, which 100%. Essentially means you are automating, right?
Exactly.
Delegation is automation. It's a form of automation. So I don't do any cold calling. I don't do any cold texting. However, my company's doing 20 hours of each a week, every week, right? And the amount of leads that we're setting is not any different than it was, if not higher, than we were spending the 12, 14, maybe 16 grand a month, which may not sound like a lot to a guy that just cut 70,000. But in my little St. Louis market of 2.3 million,
it's a lot of money.
That goes pretty far.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it goes pretty far. But here's the crazy part, guys. I'm getting just as many deals, if not more, right? And I've cut my budget from, let's call it 14. That was probably a good average, from 14 down to about 6.
What is your average wholesale fee?
Almost a third. Not quite, but almost
Almost a third. Sure. What's your average wholesale fee?
So it's low. You're gonna laugh, but it's probably about $8,000.
8,000.
Yep.
And are you assigning, or is that a double close?
That would be an assignment.
Assignment.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
it kind of varies. You know, so the thing about the St. Louis is the average house here that the investor is looking at is typically somewhere between 80 and 150.
So that's a
on
good
the
rental.
ARV side.
Great rental market. Great rental market.
Great rental market. We're talking 1.5%.
No.
Yeah,
really?
bro. So we won't buy under 1%. Period.
No, never. It's not worth it.
Gotta be at least that. But our average, and we've done again, this isn't about me, this is about you, Billy.
I know, bro, but this is us talking, bro.
But yeah, we've done 100 doors in the last 15 months. We haven't kept all of them, of course. We got 65 properties, so probably about 80 doors right now. But we've done 100 doors with the Brrrr strategy in the last 15 months.
I love it.
And we've averaged $1,200 out of pocket per door.
Dude, that's fucking amazing,
Average.
dude.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know. So what we're doing right now is we're selling off some of them that have higher equity to pay down some bad debt that we've acquired, which we'll probably be out of in the next 6 weeks.
Nice.
And then we're going to go pedal to the metal. So we'll probably sell off 10 or 12 properties to kind of reallocate some of our funds. And then we're going to go, pedal to the metal, just like you had mentioned. Our goal is to get to realistically 150 by the end of 2021. So,
nice.
Nice. Maybe a little farther, but that's kind of the goal that we have. And you had asked me a question and I sidetracked it. What was it? Can't remember.
It was just a wholesale fee, I think. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, the wholesale fee. Yeah. So, here's the thing. We're not really marketing. Let me say it this way. All the marketing I do, all of it, even with the radio, is for me to find a flip or a rental. Period.
That's it.
Okay. We have a motto. You guys probably share the same approach, at least in the current time. I've actually coined a little simple phrase. It's kind of catchy. It's funny, but it's called keep the best, sell the rest, guys. That's it. Keep the best, sell the rest. So all the marketing that I do, I'm looking at it for a flip for me or a rental that I can burr. If it doesn't meet those two criteria, wholesale it. But I'll never go out and make an offer or look at a deal to wholesale typically, unless it doesn't fit those two boxes, right?
Sure. I
so
love
all
it.
the marketing that we do is in the neighborhoods that have the good rehabs or the good rentals. With that being said, I'm not really wholesaling houses that are like above 200 grand that often, right? So it's difficult to get, not impossible, but it's difficult to get that $95,000 wholesale fee on a house that you maybe are buying at, 80 grand or 110 grand.
Yeah,
so our averages are a lot lower. We kind of make it up by doing, a little bit more volume than the typical person. We're doing, 8 to 10 a month. On a bad month, 5 or 6, good month, maybe 12 or 15. But again, it's the thing about wholesaling is it's a means to an end for me.
Sure.
It's a job.
Yep.
It requires a lot of work. I want that passive money that's taxed really low.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use wholesaling, and really I kind of word it differently, but I use the motivated seller marketing to get my deals. We keep the best, and then we wholesale all the rest of that shit off.
I love it. I love it, dude.
Keep it simple, man. Keep it simple. Less is more. Truly. Less is more. And I'm in the process right now. I'm kind of taking your lead, but we're cutting some softwares and some stuff that we've been paying for that we haven't even really been using. It's just, focus on what makes sense. And to us, we fall into every wholesale deal we get. Truly. We're not looking for them. We're looking for fucking rentals. We're looking for fucking rehabs. We fall into them. We do 10 a month, guys. So if you're listening to this and you haven't done a deal yet, right? I am falling into 10 a month. I'm not bragging. It's not my intentions. That's not me. You guys know me if you've been listening to this shit, right? It's not me. But I'm just saying this business is so incredibly simple. It's not necessarily easy.
Right. It's a simple business. It's simple, but it ain't easy.
But it ain't easy. But it is simple. It's so simple. So, but Billy, man, you've been making me do all the talking, bro.
I'm fucking good like that, bro. Turn this shit around.
I know. What are you selling me today, bro?
No, listen, man. You're good to talk. I can't wait to get you on my podcast because I really want you to break down the Brrrr. I want you to fucking go in deep on that. Like promote your book, do the whole thing, man. Because what you did in a short time frame it's amazing. I mean, it's a fucking great move on how you guys put that together.
You know, I
impressive.
That.
It's impressive. And to get a 1.5 on those rentals.
Oh, that's where I was going. That's where I lost my train of thought. So
insane,
1%, Billy, 1%'s the minimum. I won't even leave my house or my office to go look at a deal if it doesn't make sense in at least 1%.
So explain to people, what does that even mean? Like,
I love it. Absolutely. So guys, the 1% rule is like one of the most simplest things to understand. Basically what it means is I need to collect 1% a month of what I spent to buy the property, all in, not just the purchase and rehab. So let's say, simple math, I buy a property for 80 grand, which may be impossible in some of these markets, but not in mine. And I put 20 grand in it, right? So that means I'm all in it for 100, tack on another 5 grand for closing, interest, insurance, utilities, and taxes. 105 is where I'm at, right? I need to collect $1,005 a month to make 1%, basically. So I'm trying to get 1% of my all-in money in the monthly fee. So if that means that I can collect 12, so I usually work it backwards, right? If I can look at a property and I can say ARV wise, like after I fix it all up, I can get $1,200 a month on that. That means that I cannot pay more than 120 grand all in, purchase, rehab, holding, everything, closing, you name it. So the cool thing is that's the minimum. That's the 1% rule. The 2% rule is the exact same thing. It's just double. So let's say you buy a property for 40 grand and you're making 800 a month in rent. Those are a lot more hard to come by, much more. Here's what I was going to get at, Billy. This is why I thought this was so interesting and fun. We average about between 1.2 and 1.4 on the properties that we buy.
Well,
right?
That's sick.
So typically what we'll do is if we get a 1%, we'll still buy it and burr it, but we'll sell it off. If we can get one at 1.2, 1.3, we're going to hold it because it's going to cash cow.
Yeah, bro. I love the model.
Yeah, it's truly the only way that I have found in my 35 years to acquire a crazy amount of wealth with truly little to no money. Now,
so how do you train your students? How do you train your students in parts of the country that don't have the values of 60, 80, 100 grand? Like a dude like me, I'm in a New York, New Jersey region. And let's just say I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not a real estate investor yet, but I want to get into the real estate side. But I don't want to flip. I want to fucking buy and hold. Okay. How would I get into that part of the business if I'm in this part of the region?
Right. So, I mean, the thing about Brrrr is there's 2 main components. Buying at a discount is number 1, and it's probably the most important thing that you can do with any type of real estate investing. Number 2 is you have to add value via rehab. So if they're looking to do a Brrrr or you're looking to do a Brrrr, work your numbers backwards and work the entire freaking Brrrr method backwards. So really quick, Brrrr, buy, renovate, rent out, refinance, repeat. That's what it stands for. It's a strategy to acquire a lot of wealth. That's all it is. Simple, right? But you have to be able to refinance. If you can't refinance, you're going to end up borrowing money or parking money or getting hard money loans to buy a property, fix it up, and get it rented out. And if you can't refinance, you're fucked. You're stuck with that high interest loan that may even come due. So get your refinance in place before you do anything else. Start there. Most people aren't going to coach and teach you that way, but that's how I look at it, because if you can't refinance, you're going to set yourself up for disaster that whole process, right?
Yep.
Quick, I'm going to go quick. Number 2, you got to buy at a discount. It is so incredibly difficult to buy a property and increase the value 20% by just doing a rehab. Is it possible? Well, of course it's fucking possible. Is it likely that it's going to happen on every deal? Hell no. That shit's hard to do. But if you buy it at a 10, 15, maybe 20% discount already, then it's super easy to increase the value up on that property to have a 20% equity stake. And that's it. That's the whole thing. So then what we do is we go to the bank and we say, hey, not only do we have a good relationship with you, but we've done this before and we're qualified, experienced investors. We want a loan on the appraisal and we're not going to settle for anything less. And if they say, send me over what you bought it for, I say, I'm going to go to a different fucking bank. No, thank you. I want my loan on the appraisal only, because that's the whole thing. If you are getting an 80% loan or even a 75, 70%, doesn't matter. If you are getting a loan and they are going to give you 80% of what you bought it for and what you paid to fix it up, you're going to leave money in it every time, no matter what. That is the fucking laws of mathematics.
So Dave, do they have like and I know I'm interviewing you now, but I'm just for your listeners. Do
All
they
right.
have a certain time frame that the loan has to season before you
Correct.
go off the appraised
So
value?
that's called seasoning. In the beginning, it's 6 months. I don't
Got it.
have any seasoning with most of my banks because I've done 100 doors in 15 months. And they say, hey, you have experience. You know what you're doing. We're good. In the beginning, you are going to have seasoning. It's going to be slow. But just like anything, especially motivated seller marketing, guys, it snowballs.
Yep.
So once you're – so here's the thing, Bill. You know this, but a lot of the listeners and the viewers, they don't. Banks don't make money when you deposit money in their account. That's a liability to them.
Yep.
The way that banks make money is lending you money, right? So go to your bank and ask for a loan, and they're probably going to tell you no. That's what happens. That's okay. Turn that banker into a coach. It's a free coach that you don't even have to pay for. Okay, Mr. Banker, what do I need to do to get a loan? Well, you got to increase your debt to income or decrease that. You got to increase your credit. Do whatever they got to do. Just work on that. Go get it. And then once you get qualified, then they're going to have the seasoning in place. Well, once you work with them, they're going to start calling you saying, hey, I'm ready to give you more loans, because that's how they get paid. Yep. And eventually they're going to want to speed up the process too, so they can make more money. So absolutely, Billy, there's going to be seasoning most of the time. But as you do more and more deals, that's what you have to negotiate with. So now when I go to a bank, I basically tell them I want loans on appraisals. I want 70 to 80%, depending on the area. You can pick that, but it's going to basically be known by the area, right? I want my loans to not balloon. Big point here.
That's huge.
They cannot. I will not get a loan that balloons. Instead, they all have to renew. Now, why would I want that? Because I don't want my amortization table starting over every 3 to 5 years. Instead, I want them to just go do a drive-by or an appraisal and renew with a new term, because the amortization table is where wealth is created.
Sure.
Right? You know this.
Yep.
All of the loans renew. They do not balloon. They have to give me a loan on the appraisal. And then where I have, my only thing that I can do to negotiate is interest rates and seasoning. That's it. It's only levers I can pull. So if they're trying to give me a high interest rate, I'm going to go try to find a lower one. If they're trying to give me seasoning, I'm going to go to try to find one that doesn't have it or is shortened, until my relationship with those people is strong enough to where both of those are no longer really necessarily needed to argue about.
And one last question. Are you finding that you're having a better chance on dealing with local bankers than you are these national players?
100%.
Yeah.
I missed that. It's in the book, though. That's why it's 380 pages. So in order to get a loan that doesn't balloon and it renews, you're typically going to need to get a portfolio loan, which means it's a smaller bank that doesn't sell the loan on the secondary market. They own the loan, they hold the loan, and they service the loan.
Yep.
Correct. Yep. So honestly, I don't have a loan with any bank that's national. Well, not any, because some of my older rentals, of course. But in the last 3, 4, 5 years, no national banks, all local, and they're small, guys. They're banks that have 3 branches, maybe 5 branches, at most 10, 12, something like that. Because once they get bigger, they're going to want to start selling those loans off. We don't want that. We want them to keep those loans. And that's also one of the easiest ways to get a loan to be renewable and not balloon, is to know that it's a portfolio loan and they have no interest in selling that loan off, and they'll let you do that renewal. You know how much a renewal costs?
What's it running
$150.
Yeah, compare that to a refi.
How much? You know how much a refi costs? Fuck, you're talking $2 grand, $3 grand.
In New York, it's probably like fucking $8 grand.
Yeah, $8 grand. I can renew 60 loans for the price of refinancing.
I don't think that people listening understand the value in that tip. That is a ridiculous tip that you just gave. That could save somebody tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars if they're in this grand scheme of things, if they have a large portfolio they're trying to do.
All the bank wants to do, guys, is they just want to reevaluate their risk, which means, hey, what's the interest that I'm charging them now? Can I maybe get them for more? Maybe they can even do a little less. Doesn't necessarily matter, but they're trying to get more. And all they're doing is locking in that term. So, I mean, it's just, you got to play the game the way the game's supposed to be played. And that's why I say, when you walk into a bank, Billy, and they say, nope, don't get upset. I still to this day get told no. Yeah. But I don't walk out with my tail between my legs. And instead I say, Jim, Jeff, whatever the banker's name is, I get it. You maybe not have the appetite for me right now, or maybe something on my balance sheet doesn't look appealing to you. Tell me what it is that I can do to fix that. I'm going to go home. I'm going to work on that for a couple weeks or a couple months. I'm going to go back. And I'm going to say, hey, here's where I'm at. Will you lend me now? And the thing is about lending is a lot of these banks are required to lend. Like
They have to.
you know,
They're
they have
mandated.
to, right? So you know, like they can't tell you no if you fall within the guidelines. So they're really just telling you if you're in there or not, right? But yeah, that's the Brrrr strategy. That's really where we're going. It sounds like you guys are kind of pivoting into doing more buy and holds as well. I'd highly recommend find the local banks. And another thing too, you know, imagine you try having a question about one of your mortgages and you're calling an 800 number that puts you in Kansas City and then they forward you to Phoenix and then all of a sudden you're in Ontario. I don't ever fuck with that. No, I'm going to go to the bank that has 2 or 3 branches. They all know me by my first name. The president, I got his cell phone number in my phone. If I have an issue, I'm going to talk to somebody that's going to be able to handle it quick and efficiently, not transfer me around and not know what the hell's going on. You know,
I love it, bro.
Another huge advantage of having the local banks.
You, if you ever want to bring me back on to interview you on your own pod show, just
Billy, you are one of my favorite real estate investors in the country.
I appreciate that, bro.
No bullshit. I fucking love your energy. You are hilarious. And you're just really genuinely, truly passionate about helping people. And you're such a sincere dude. I fucking love you, man. How can people reach out to you and learn more about what Billy is doing? So guys, there's a lot of people out there that aren't willing to learn how to wholesale or wanting to do rentals, but they want to be invested. And I think Billy might be able to help you with that.
Yeah, no doubt. If you want to get involved with this passively and have me put your money to work, go to billyalvaro.com. Just fill out the form on there. Invest with Billy. BILLYALV like Victor, ARO, billyalvaro.com. Check me out there. Go on there. Let's get together. I don't care where you live. We have to have a conversation, see if you're a good fit for me. If I'm a good fit for you, then we take it to the next level. We're investing all over the place. We have single family, multifamily. We have mobile home parks. I mean, we have everything that we're investing in. And it's anything that we could get a nice, healthy return on. We're putting the money to work. And I'm smart enough to realize I can't do it all myself. And in order for me to scale, I need to help other people create wealth. They might not want to go out there and find properties or create a business, but they want to make the return. And that's where we come in.
Yep. I love it. Where can somebody find you on social media too?
Yeah. It's funny. The Unstoppable BA, that's on all my handles. It's on social media for Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's on LinkedIn.
Hey, that's perfect though. If you can get them consistent, that's key. I got all different ones. It's fucking annoying and whatnot.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, the Unstoppable BA, bro.
Awesome.
Unfucking stoppable.
I love it. Guys, BillyAlvaro.com. Check him out. Again, he is like one of my favorite investors. Got the best personality. Super nice guy. Genuinely sincere. He cares about people. And he knows what the hell he's doing. Billy, I wish that I would have had more time to interview you on my show.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll invite you
back.
I'm going to invite you on my show, and you can interview me on my show.
Perfect. I'm going to bring you back in like a month or two if our calendars can align, because there's so much more that I wanted to talk with you about that we didn't get to today. But either way, you know, we talked about a lot of good things, guys. Make pivots in your market. You know, figure out what's coming. Adjust your marketing as needed. Look at your efficiency. We just heard from Billy. He is doing, 6, 7, 8, 10 deals a month with zero marketing because he's lead mining his current follow-up, right? There's only 3 things that matter in real estate investing: marketing to motivated sellers, sending offers, following up. Prove me wrong.
That's it.
That's all there is to it. There's a lot of little things you can do in and outside of those things, but if you are not doing those 3 things, you are not going to do deals.
That's a trifecta right there.
Billy
you nailed it, bro.
Awesome. Billy,
I appreciate
thank you so much
bro.
for coming on. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for your time. We're going to get you back. And again, guys, BillyAlvaro.com, BillyAlvaro.com. If you have money and you want to put it in the real estate business, but not do any of it yourself and let a trusted, experienced investor do it for you, you got to contact Billy. Guys, that's it for today. We're signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach a wider audience. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, please visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. We would also appreciate it if you left us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Thank you in advance for your support, and remember, you make your money when you buy, and you get paid when you sell. Now let's go build some wealth.